resurrected in an age of strife. From the ashes, the tangent grows as kings are crowned, a new beginning flows. Disgusting, tangent kings, a new age, as stories sing. Disgusting, glows and grows, tangent kings reforged in soars. Oh, reforged in soars. Yeah, yeah. After many years left to die, rediscovered for it to rise. The network finds a gem to forge anew, to shine again. Once a dragon rose, as the slayer froze, all the tangents close. Once the dragon slows, as the slayer pose, tangents reforged in prose. Disgusting, tangent kings, a new age, a story sing. Disgusting, glows and grows, tangent kings reforged in soul. Disgusting, tangent kings, a new age, a story sing. Disgusting, glows and grows, tangent kings reforged in souls. Discussion does now mow, things do now grow, tangents now soar. Disgusting, tangent kings, a new age, a story sing. Disgusting, glows and grows, tangent kings reforged in soul. Disgusting, tangent kings, a new age, a story sing. Disgusting, glows and grows, tangent kings reforged in souls. Yeah, reforged in souls.
The network is alive! I feel the signals! Burning truths connecting the dots! They can't stop the flow!
Woo, woo, woo! Hey, welcome. What the hell?
What the hell just happened?
Exactly.
Oh.
We are having a special guest tonight, folks. As you can see, the coffee brand coffee man himself. Welcome.
Why?
Welcome.
Why
everyone.
won't
Better talk to
Atreus
you.
cuck my girlfriend?
Oh, wow.
Maybe he
Wow.
has, but you just don't know it yet.
Oh boy. Oh boy. We're all getting blocked. We're all getting blocked.
Exactly. No, we're getting deplatformed through YouTube
There you
agents. Welcome everyone to episode 31 of Tangent Geeks. We might just be the last episode with what's been happening on our main topic for tonight. I want to say something while I still have the chance. We have had a lot of people, and we are all different people on this show, Tangent Geeks. But I can say for certainty one positive thing, and that is none of us has ever drunk our co-workers' breast milk. So that we have that going on for us. And with that said,
Eventually.
Well, I mean, this, you know what? If that doesn't make it, if Digny's outfit doesn't make it the final Tangent Kings, this will. This is the hyper-realistic, dignified cartoon gentleman healing a dying dash attack.
this is the best. This should be a poster on t-shirts for the network. This should be on t-shirts. This should happen.
I like how Digny's handle in the AI is still real Donald Trump, though.
Exactly. Well, yeah, he's a fan.
No.
He basically looks up to Digny and was like, I am going to rename myself to Digny.
I took over Donald Trump the same way I took over the network. It's like just latch onto it. Okay, I'm
behind
the
it
squid.
with no lube.
I'm the squid on top of the eagle. Only Chinese people will get that reference. But it is great to
Chinese
see
people are getting
everyone.
hungry at that reference.
Okay, great to see everyone. Like the stream, share the stream, buy my blood coffee while I piss in my basement and drink my co-worker's breast milk, and consensually, because let's face facts, folks. Almost everyone, apart from me, on the old white road drinks other white substances from one another. Okay?
Consensually.
Yeah. Yeah, consensually. Consensually. But yes, it is literally. We should create
Minecraft.
a show. We should create a show called the Juju Cum Show. That would be that.
Well,
that
I mean
would be crazy.
that is
Wait,
literally
wait,
the quartering
wait,
show these days.
Wait,
Mhm.
old white road is not enough for you. It's like a road that is all white, and you're with certain people that drink white stuff. They don't
Oh,
drink them;
damn.
they spit them and make a road.
We talked about this, Helzo. Old White Road is simply a parody of New Black Street. Okay. Okay, it's not even the best parody. Let me tell you a story, folks. The best parody of one of the New Black Street Mafia's shows was Atreus, because I always like parodying very well. Atreus once had a show, folks. Once, because he doesn't have it anymore, called 30 Carats. Okay, folks, he'd do this 30 carat show. He'd have a guest on, and he'd do like a one-to-one talk, right? Now, I saw this and thought to myself, this is fantastic. I have got to parody this. So I created a show, which was the previous incarnation of this very show, but instead of the original name, it was that name, 30 carats. And it was literally the symbol with 30 carats like the sun. And we had a massive panel. We had Smash JT, J Viper, 8-Bit Eric, Real Mark Fox, as well as all the regulars. It was an event. It wasn't a panel show. It was a goddamn event. And it did so well. It got over 70 likes for a show, which is crazy. It did so well as a one-off that Atreus cancelled his 30 carat show forever.
Did he want to come to this show, to the new 30 carats?
No, it doesn't have. It doesn't have the same ring to it now, because it was literally built to parody a show, and it in fact killed the thing it was parodying.
Helzo, did Square Enix buy this show? Because a few weeks ago we had a team of 5, like in Final Fantasy IV. Then we went down to a four group crew, and now we're down to 3, like in Final Fantasy VII. So the next spot is everyone's going to start being replaced by gay furries. So Dash Attack may invade soon.
The thing is that we have one person on the panel that apparently has all the technological gods against him, because from what I know, he sent his PC twice for a complete overhaul, and I think he ordered a new PC. And the thing that got him one time was a faulty cable. So I don't know who the the PC guy is, but he should be hanged in the streets, in my opinion. In Minecraft, of course. Yes, in Minecraft. And the other one is currently mounting a door. What kind of mounting? I don't know. I have not asked. These are private things with doors and mountings. I'm not against anyone's personal preferences. So hopefully that door has a great time, and hopefully we have Roger soon today. Hopefully he makes it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Roger, if they already got him. They got him. He's en route to the Strait of Hormuz.
I just gave him a very, 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 very large cake. It's the size of a building, large cake.
Give him a woman from my 600-pound life's ass.
Oh no! Don't get me started on those creatures. One of them died recently. You'll never guess.
Yeah, and her name was
all.
Dolly.
Oh damn!
I actually commented on that a couple of days ago. My 600-pound life is the definition of what the human body can withstand. Like if you can weigh more than a Yugo or a Polish Fiat, that means that your body is strong. Like you weigh at least 5 times your recommended weight on a daily basis. You sleep with that. You walk with that. It's crazy. I know it's unhealthy, and you're probably dying in the very near future. But the fact that you can spend decades weighing like more than some professional wrestlers. I mean, that's crazy.
What's crazy is that this doesn't happen overnight, and yet they're completely unaware of it or allow it to happen. I've seen clips of it. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. And then you're told you're going to die. You have to eat a certain way to make sure you don't die. And then they just don't do it. And it's incredible to me. Like, I understand that you may like certain things. You may like food. We all like to indulge once in a while. But you're dying. Like, you can't do it. Like what part of that doesn't register?
I like food. I like food. I'm just slightly overweight at the moment. In no way that impedes me,
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're not at the point where you're like bedridden like some of these people. They can't even wipe their ass.
I can still see my cock,
Yeah.
It's perfect Soviet level propaganda. If only the communist world lasted long enough to show this programming to their people and then say, this is why we starve you, because this is what will happen to you if you become like the West. And the reason why I like this configuration, folks, is that you can see all of us very clearly, right? Big, bold. You can actually see us instead of the panel model. But it's great to see everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Great to see Roadkill and Maverick and Finch and who else is here? Helzo, and of course Jace and myself. So many great people.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, if you haven't already, like the stream, share the stream. Of course, donations are always welcome. We got a lot to cover, and we like to keep it to 2 hours. Great thing about a smaller panel, you can talk about more things.
Like the Russian propaganda that failed.
Yes. Well, the best Russian propaganda comes from the West. It's called My 600-Pound Life.
Yeah, you'd be amazed, Telzo, how many topics we get in with 3 people on Thursday. It's nuts.
Oh no, I know we could talk about, like, I tried finding a lot of topics for today. I spent 10 whole minutes non-stop, and I mean non-stop, scrolling and reading stuff. The only 2 things that came on my feed were our main topic, like people that I will never see in my life or on my feed again, and some random stuff about indie games, because I'm developing a game and I'm researching stuff about indie games, and the algorithm feeds me that. That's the only thing that I saw for 10 minutes, and I was
we can dive straight into that, folks. And my take on the whole quartering situation is, whether we like to admit it or not, both the quartering and Kino Casino are egregious for remarkably similar reasons. The only difference is, to really boil down this topic to a minute, if I ever make this into a short, is that the quartering's cuck flagging is far more recent than Kino Casino's many instances, not of cucking, because who the fuck wants to fuck Triple P, but of flagging on more than one occasion to more than one person. In fact, Andy Warski tried to kill someone in Las Vegas, but no one wants to fucking talk about it.
Wow.
I'm probably the least informed person about the situation. What I'm gonna say is that when I kind of returned to YouTube, and even a bit before that, the quartering was someone that I followed. Like I would watch his videos every day, because he was actually quite based. Like, he was talking a lot of sensible stuff to me, and then kind of like probably a couple of years ago started to be like a bit more, I would say, repetitive, and a bit of like stuff, especially what they're bringing up now, like a bit of e-bagging, like, and stuff like that started to appear. So I kind of pulled away. However, this for me, it's a bit new. I'm also not familiar with Kino Casino. I never quite got around to following them. I know them through Smash JT. That's it, from those things. And because we are here to talk about what's happening on YouTube and what the drama on YouTube and what Digny said about Kino Kazin and Andy Worski, that stuff that apparently happened. I'm not familiar with, but there's one thing that you should stick to. Like if you want to have a bit of integrity, it doesn't matter on which side. If you're on the evil side or on the bright side, you need to have integrity. And Quartering kind of presented himself, especially in the last few days, as someone who would go each way as long as he would dodge the bullets. Like he would say he didn't do anything, he would threaten to do anything, he would say that he did anything, they would say that he didn't do anything, he would show emails, then other emails would show up, then he would try to explain those emails. It was the same with his talks about women. He respects all women, but then some online sluts that are seeking attention are miserable. And that's something that I just said that he said in the span of 15 seconds in one of his streams. You know, so the whole 2-3 field playing on his side is something that I really don't like in anyone, especially when you're building something up on yourself. And he basically going all the way with flagging videos, stuff like that. And we know that he did, even though he showed proof he didn't do it. The whole intent behind it and his like mountains of proof is very suspicious. And for me, I don't believe it.
Well, World War Quartering, as I call it, has been, rough to sort of see. And here's the thing, personally, I have no problem with the Quartering. In my few interactions with Jeremy, he's never been rude to me. He's never been an ass to me. It's not like with JDA, who's deliberately been a dickhead towards me directly. It's a completely different thing. His personal life is his personal life. I think the mistake that he made is that, and it doesn't matter how large of a content creator you are, if you spout out a lot of personal stuff, you overshare, so to speak, and you are a content creator the size of the Quartering, people are going to be in your business. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that this is the way of the world. This is the human nature of things. I don't like it for him, but on the same token, Jeremy has to have looked at something that he's created many topics about, which is Jack Murphy. And, with that, you sort of should know not to make sort of the same pitfalls, mistakes. The more sort of upset about it, the more people are going to have eyes on it. And also, I think the biggest mistake is people are going to talk about it. We're talking about it. Doesn't mean I hate the guy. I have no personal dislike of the Quartering. I have no beef with him. Likewise, Yellow Flash did not have a beef with him, but Yellow Flash retweeted some. A retweet is not an endorsement. And Jeremy sort of got, sort of mad at him. And obviously there are memes. Memes are going to come out against everybody in this type of situation. Right, left, upside down, doesn't matter. Bugle Daily, I think, got blocked. And I think what happens is these are people who are typically not aligned against you deliberately. But if you start sort of putting out where you're firing back on them very aggressively about it because they're following the story, it's not, I don't think it's personal. I don't think Yellow Flash looked at retweeting something like, I'm trying to attack the Quartering. And that's sort of the thing. And I think that in some way, what's worrisome is the deplatforming thing. Are Kino Casino good guys? No. But on the same token, when the leaks start to come out, whoever's leaking it, by the way, whoever's leaking is a dickhead. Because then you got to ask yourself, well, who the hell's leaking the private messages that I'm sending? And when messages from Quartering come out that say, I'm going to get them deplatformed on everywhere except DLive, which DLive is about to die. I think at the end of the month, DLive is shutting down. And look, Quartering has inroads. It's because of Quartering and some of the advice that Quartering has put out in his videos that when we started doing Cancel This Podcast, I said, let's take a look at these alt tech platforms, BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble. At the time, Rumble was not as big as it is now. It was starting out. It had no live streaming. And it was Quartering that was drawing attention to a lot of these alt techs and telling people, hey, YouTube's kind of got it, out for you. You got to be on more than one platform. All right. And so the thing is, on that regard, that's great. But also because of that, Jeremy has a bit of a sort of rapport with these people that we don't see on the other side. I have a non-cheat YouTube contact that'll get you deplatformed. All right. Very similar, by the way, to what happened to Digny's mentor, where without any strikes, boom, your channel is just vaporized. You didn't even get a strike. You're just gone. You're just gone, and that's not a good look. And it's because of the fact it's not about whether you agree with Jeremy or not. It's not about whether you're his friend or not. It's not about any of those things. It's that institutionally, if people are able to just Thanos snap other channels out of existence, that is too much power and influence they have over the platform. This is why I'm vehemently against Rumble signing certain creators to contracts and not others, because now what happens? Can Kino Casino, even if they wanted to, I don't believe they have a Rumble channel, but if they open a Rumble channel, would they just be vaporized because Jeremy's in good with Chris and has a contract? That's sort of a red flag. Odyssey, also a free speech platform. Would they now flag Kino Casino content because they've got a positive relationship with the quartering? I'm not saying that what they're doing is right, but I'm also not saying that it's wrong, because news is news when you're that large of a content creator and you put that type of information out. You have to be very careful about casually saying some of the things that Jeremy has said. I'm not, slagging him. It doesn't matter what size you are. You don't overshare, because you know that you've got a big red target on your head. And I think, quartering Timple, look, Steven Crowder, they drag that man over, 10 seconds of footage of him arguing with his wife. We don't know the whole story of that. We don't. Yeah. I don't know Steven Crowder's situation with the woman that he married or their divorce. I don't know those people personally like that. But that 10 seconds is enough for a lot of people on the internet to scrutinize. And Jeremy, is not. I don't think he's an unintelligent man. You don't get to where he is on the internet without having at least a little bit of nuance and understanding on how to play the game. But then also you got to have the wherewithal to not say certain things that these people can now weaponize against you for any little reason. Because if it weren't them, it would have been somebody else.
True, and frankly, it can be anybody.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's face facts, folks. Welcoming experienced blood sports creators into the pop culture scene is one of the biggest mistakes this community has ever made. Kino Casino is led by two people, Andy Worski, who has a track record of disasters longer than your fucking arms and legs put together, and Triple P, who has made it very clear that he is willing to sell his fans' personal information to the feds if they're too problematic. And I've got the receipts to prove it, folks, because I dip my toes in internet blood sports. But I had the good sense to get the fuck out of there, because they're all crazy. They're all crazy. And this is one of the individuals who covers the craziness of blood sports as a parody of Mormon Shaggy, a guy so demented that he literally lives in a dirty trailer and does crack all day. That's Mormon Shaggy, folks. But this was from late 2024, courtesy of Esoteric Shaggyism, quote, Triple P DM leak. Kino Casino's Triple P, the fat one who will eat people, had hundreds of private messages revealed recently. This was late in 2024, just to give context. The cascade of revelations range from discussing selling their fans' info to the feds, Triple P privately despising Andy Worski, who was, and for all I know still is, a cocaine addict, Triple P attacking their own donors, as well as supposed allies, such as Jaden McNeil. And remember, Josh Moon, the main man behind Kiwi Farms. I mean, he's right here, folks. This was back in, this original leak was back in early October of 2021. So they've been around the block. They've been around the block, and this was just after the coronavirus crisis. These are not good people. These are not good people. You can quite frankly type in Andy Worski, and the first thing that comes up isn't the recent stuff going on. It's stuff that happened a few years back about Worski doxing himself and getting into cocaine orgies with his fans, male and female. These are not good people. Kino Casino is not a nice place for creators to come along. They're attack dogs.
Yeah, it's not a black or white issue. It's a nuanced issue. A lot of people, this is not like taking Kino's side or taking the quartering side. It's more of the bigger ramifications of what it means as a content creator, that anyone has too much institutional power, which we've talked about many times on this show and various other shows on multiple panels throughout the network, is that when you institutionalize content creation, you now run afoul of the fact that can you truly be a free speech platform? Because, if it comes down to, hey, Rumble, hey, Odyssey, pick a side, then that's a bad overall look. Again, it doesn't matter. Kino Casino are not great people. Like I said, I've had no issue with the quartering personally. Sometimes I agree with some of his takes. Sometimes I don't agree with some of his takes. And while I know that a lot of people feel, oh, yeah, he's a big grifter. Also, that's sort of to me, it's just get your bag, bro. Look, any of us would have loved to have been making the money that he's been making. That is also why when he goes, oh, hey, yeah, I'm broke. Like, I know you play employees. I know you got all that. Believe me, you are not as poor as me. I drive a fucking 97 Ranger, all right? That shit is held up by duct tape. Have you seen my mother?
This is the guy who coined the phrase, guys. My channel is under attack. Right? The irony of the situation, yet we cannot ignore the fact that bringing in blood sports creators, and it's not just Kino Casino, it's also Ethan Ralph and Mormon Shaggy and their ilk. That is, quite frankly, an insane decision for the pop culture community to welcome those sorts of creators with open arms, okay? They may be entertaining. In fact, they are entertaining. But if you want to do well in internet blood sports, you ultimately have to be a backstabbing lunatic, right? There's a reason Nick Fuentes is still around in this discourse, because he got his start in that community as a teenager. It was incredible how he managed to get through that without being completely wiped out.
Yeah. Well, I look at it this way too, and that sort of thing too. That whole ecosystem thrives on nothing but drama with one another. That to me is like antithetical to, I think, what most content creators in our sort of sphere want, which is why, like you said, welcoming them into the zeitgeist will have repercussions, because people don't want drama. People don't want, look, that's the reason why we didn't like a lot of us got dragged in the culture war to begin with. I just want to play video games and handle my pop culture stuff. But here they go putting feminist bullshit and leftist garbage in Ghostbusters, and now here the hell I am. So it's kind of like that. I just want to be left alone. This is the same thing as on the left culturally. When those people don't want to leave you alone, these people will dig through your trash to find any fucking reason to go after you. Don't invite that in. And I do think that, on that regard, you get a little bit more with sugar than with salt. And so I do believe that maybe the one thing I would really disagree with quartering on in this is that in acknowledging it and getting mad at other people in his same sort of sphere, like Yellow Flash, like Bugle Daily, like Geeks and Gamers, like, no, you need your allies. You do not make enemies of people that maybe, as you said, Digny, if you want to keep these people the fuck out, you got to keep these people the fuck out, but you got to, establish a unified front. You don't just start, attacking people who are talking about it. And by the way, again, the other thing about this is publicly doing it very silly. I think that again, Jeremy has an inroad to a lot of these people via DM and everywhere else. He could have said, "Hey, look, can we not talk about this?" Or just sort of look, use the diplomacy. At one point, everyone was a unified front. Use the diplomacy. Use cooler heads to prevail. I get it. It's not a great situation. People are talking about your wife. I wouldn't want people to talk about, my girlfriend or anything else. You get sort of hot-headed, but at the same time, you gotta sort of, no one else put you in this situation. Maybe Kino Casino did, but on the same token, that information that they brought out was on public streams that anyone else could have found. If it hadn't been them, it would have been somebody else. And that could be
the thing is that when you put yourself on the internet and when you put your information on the internet, the more you put and the bigger you are going to have people who just don't like you. The same way that Digny just talked about Kino Casino and all their stuff. They know, a lot of people know. I didn't know. By the way, up until now, I didn't know any of that thing, but a lot of people know, and they know that people talk about it. However, the difference between them and the quartering is that they just continue on and they don't pay fucking attention to it because that's information you can't do anything about once that's on.
Yeah.
And when you get drunk and overshare on the internet, you have to be ready for the consequences that people, especially if you have a 1 million plus, 3 million plus subscriber count on YouTube and you get millions of views for your videos and for your streams, there are going to be people, more and more people that are not going to want you to be happy. You might not know them, they might not have anything to do with you, they might just be bad motherfuckers who want to do harm on the internet. I am a very small channel, and I already had these problems with a certain person who was jumping between channels and making 70, 80 different accounts and spamming chats.
I've got botters over on Rumble that start shit with me. Maverick can attest to that.
Exactly.
Maverick was hanging around on his chat. Some guy comes in, threatens to basically beat Maverick up because he's friends with Llama Todd. Like this, even at the small level, you have these people. If you're a channel the size of the Quartering, there's an old saying, it's lonely at the top, and that's sort of the thing that Quartering needs to understand here. So when you bring up your wife in a situation, even drunkenly, casually on your own stream, thinking that you're safe, you're never safe, even on your own streams. But when you bring up, things like potentially an open marriage, and I don't attest to know the ins and outs of a man's relationship, that's his business. But you know how the internet is going to react to open marriage because you've seen the memes, you've seen the jokes, you saw what happened to Jack Murphy, and the way that cuck is used in the zeitgeist now. Don't put yourself in that spot. Like you can't. And if drinking inebriates you to that point. If drinking inebriates you to that point, no drinking on stream. Just don't do it. Don't put yourself in that position.
Exactly.
Exactly.
If you can handle what's happening afterwards, don't say it. Don't put yourself in that. You should know better.
It's the rampant hypocrisy, folks. Let's face facts. Every single content creator who has become prominent, highlighting the problem with pop culture, will be wiped out. Ultimately, and the opposition will find whatever means to an end to ensure that. And that is the thing when it comes to Kino Casino, because they have one hell of a track record of being extremely useful at being a means to someone's end, whether it's an internet blood sports or whether it's right here, right now, taken down the Quartering because of his egregious actions. The same egregious actions that Kino Casino has done time and time and time again with no repercussion. No repercussions. Andy Warski, for example, sex to 15-year-old, sent a sexual text to a 15-year-old. What happened to him? Fuck all, right? They're talking about how they flagged a creator and got them wiped out.
Yeah, but you're going outside of YouTube, of what we're talking about, of YouTube right now. If he did that, then certain authorities should investigate it.
Well, that's the thing. You don't investigate people or organizations, Helzo, that are attack dogs who serve as a means to someone who is an end. Because the Quartering, whether you like him or not, right? And now more and more people don't like him, obviously. For a time, the Quartering was a leading force in highlighting the problem with pop culture. It was him, it was Nerdrotic, it was Geeks and Gamers, it was Doom. Remember how Doomcock got thrown under the fucking bus? Because his sources. Wasn't Kino Casino who went after him. It was others who were willing to do whatever it took to climb the greasy pole. What I want folks to understand right here, right now, is that the most dangerous people that can do you in are as likely to be your friend as they are your foe. And in Kino Casino's case, you're today's friend and tomorrow's foe. It's the JDA effect. I'll be nice to you when it suits me, and I'll fuck you over when it suits me too.
Exactly. Well, this is sort of the thing that is another issue, right? Like even I personally didn't know much about Kino Casino. I didn't pay attention to them until this drama started. Just like Helzo, I didn't pay much attention to Kino Casino. I've only heard of them in name only. Really don't watch their content all that much. Now I know who they are, and that's sort of also the problem. When you're a content creator, and I'm very careful about this on Cancel's podcast, because we get people who fucking come at me that got like fucking 80 followers, 20 followers, 10 followers. You know why? because they see a guy who's very aggressive, very loud, very, look, Puerto Ricans were all like that. We range from zero to Furious Dan. All right. A fist of shame. And so people are hoping that on this channel that by some ungodly reason, I'm not saying I'm a huge channel on Rumble, but compared to a lot of other people on Rumble, even channels that are bigger than me, that have bigger followings than me everywhere else, we do pretty good on Rumble. So there are people who will antagonize me in hopes that they will get their name out there. And there are some people they're not even gonna get the mention. Even though I mention what they're doing, I will make sure to blur their name out, make it where you cannot find that person, period, straight up, because I'm not going to platform them or give them that they want that response. It's just like I said last week here with the Kotaku douchebag that writes these stupid articles. He wants people to know him by name, and every time that we mention him by name, it's like a serial killer who gets his rocks off that he's been noticed. Yeah. So Quartering, being one of the largest channels overall, between his YouTube following, his Rumble following, his Odyssey following is also very large. By him getting into this with Kino Casino, he has, even with deplatforming them on YouTube, he has platformed Kino Casino. Ironically, what does not kill you, Dignity, you know this very well. What does not kill you makes you stronger. And that's what he's done to Kino Casino. They now have a legitimacy that they did not previously have.
And by the way, one of the first things that sparked this whole drama now is this. Basically, this is a deleted post from Quartering and Andy Worski. By the way, he allegedly, allegedly, the Quartering managed to take down the Clips channel of Kino Casino and Andy Worski's channel through contacting someone at YouTube to do so. And that's pretty much what we've been saying. No matter what you are, like if you're a good person, they're famous. They're both famous. The difference between in this case, between Kino Casino and the Quartering is that Kino Casino, they know everything. Like both of them, they know everything that Digny said that we know now, and they move on. They don't care about it. Okay, know it. We're still here. We're still doing what we do. Quartering, on the other hand, he put himself into that situation. He got drunk. He got overly sharing. He drank allegedly co-workers' milk. He allegedly is a cock, and nobody exposed him on it. He said those things. So when you say something, for instance, if I'm to say, just for the sake of it, that I eat Tide Pods, and someone decides to drag me for it, I said that. I put myself in that situation. I should own that situation, I should have a thicker skin. And YouTube, especially for someone on the size of Quartering, this is something that actually surprised me, because when I used to watch the Quartering, he was thick-skinned as much as he is actually thick-skinned right now.
He used to be anti-deplatforming. He used to be heavy anti-this that he's now doing.
That is one of the reasons that I follow, because he was very pro complete free speech, and I'm also very complete pro free speech. We can say what we know, we can state the facts, and nobody can tell us, okay, please don't talk about this. No, I'm not gonna censor myself because that might do some harm if those things are public. No, I'm not gonna leak DMs and stuff like that. But if something is public, it's fair game. If you have some public information that you have shared or that is known about you, and it is important, that is fair game because it is public. And he made a lot of things public for himself. He made a lot of shameful
He shot himself. Jeremy Hambley, which is one hell of a name for a content creator, he jumped into this pit of vipers. Okay,
exactly, on his own volition.
Let's also consider the fact, and it is a fact, that there is a lot of vested interest out there to bring down the Quartering, which may surprise a lot of people. There is a lot of vested interests out there to take down a lot of prominent pop culture content creators, whether they're good people or bad people. Quite frankly, folks, we exist in an industry, likewise with Hollywood, likewise with Washington, where it doesn't matter if you're a good person or not. What matters is, are you effective or are you feckless? And in the Quartering's case, through most of his career, he was
Mhm.
effective.
Yeah.
Only in recent years, like Boogie, for example, only in the past few years for the quartering for Boogie, it's more like half a decade at this point, they have become feckless. And of course, the hyenas are going to circle, the vultures are going to circle, and then they're going to pick them apart piece by piece.
If you remember, a couple of weeks ago, the Critical Drinker had an attempt on him to cancel him because of what he said about Starfleet
Yeah,
Academy, and
by Matt Jarbo of all people.
yeah. So the bigger you are, the more people you have that want to silence you, especially if you're on our side. Like if you're on the left, you still have the backing that we don't have. Like if you're especially very woke, very pro trans, very pro control speech and stuff like that, you still have backing from a lot of institutions and a lot of still prominent creators even outside of YouTube.
It's also divide and conquer. You know?
Exactly. Oh, exactly. This is kind of similar to what happened when Trump was re-elected, and we had the whole thing uniting against the woke, and then we immediately saw the divide with the Gooner Gate, like with what gaming should be and who is going to take reins. Basically, JDA
exactly.
going all out, I'll control the gaming and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know, this is another situation that is going to give strength to those people who would want to silence all of us.
Well, that's sort of the problem where we're at, Helzo, is this also because among the other side we're all fractured. Obviously, there's people who have different opinions on this whole situation in Iran and everything that Trump is doing and everything all across the board. And there are people on the right now calling to deplatform each other. And there are people on the left who just are capitalizing. This is a chance to get rid of all of them. So quartering, as Digny said, quartering has a very large following, whether you like him or not, whether you agree with him or not, whether you're worried about what the ins and outs of his marriage or not. He's got a huge following, and there are people who want to take him down, both people on his side of the aisle of the culture war who are seeing him as sort of, oh, well, I don't agree with you on the Israel thing or anything like so. Screw you. And people on the left who have always wanted to take him down and salivate at that and been in his business in the past just as much. And so you're being attacked on all sides. My channel is under attack, as everybody says. It's immortalized, as Digny said with him. But I mean, in this case, to an extent it is, but to an extent, that's why you cannot show weakness in that situation. You cannot give them a chink in the armor with which to, pierce your defenses, because then it's just blood in the water and you're surrounded by sharks. You're swimming in deep waters. You make a lot of money. You're a very prominent name in this cultural space. You're basically a household name, for better or worse. The sharks are going to circle you. The minute that you bleed, the sharks are going to circle you on all sides.
I will give every person like that one advice: be like J.K. Rowling. For all the hate that she received, do you know what she does every night? She goes, she stuffs her pillow, which is made out of money, literally. She sleeps hugging huge piles of cash that is growing and growing and growing, and she doesn't care. That's it.
Well,
that's
a
it.
Content creator, unfortunately, Helzo, a content creator doesn't have the same luxury as a legacy author. Quite frankly, J.K. Rowling is an infinitely better writer than George Martin because she finished her story. Okay, but when we look at a content creator,
she managed to finish.
Even the most successful content creators who make 5 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures a year, this is a continual process that only ends one of two ways. The nice way, where you run off into the sunset with your wife and kiddo, the PewDiePie exit, for lack of a better term, or, I don't know what that sound is. If it's me, I apologize. Or there's the death ending. Now, it might be me. I might need to turn myself down. Or there's the death ending when you're dead. Here's an example.
The crash and burn.
Here's an example of a creator who rose to great heights in terms of popularity and funding, who then completely collapsed and is now in the process of recovery. Nick Rekieta. Remember this, right? Throughout the Kyle Rittenhouse case, Johnny Depp trial, for a solid 2 years, guys, he was making 7 figures a year. He was making over $1 million a year. Got to his head. He was drinking. He was taking cocaine, like cocaine Warski, and he was having orgies with other content creators' wives.
Look, let's be honest as to what happened to poor Nick Rekieta. We all know what happened to Nick. This happened to Nick, and you never put one of these on. This is a cursed artifact. If you touch this, you will go to hell while you are still alive.
The same thing happened to the quartering. I don't know. Get that off the fucking screen because it permeates. That shit. I'm dead serious. That thing permeates everywhere. Lumissa confessed to having one, and her husband died.
Oh boy, I did not know that.
That may not have been public before I said that, but it is true. Okay.
So wait a minute. What you're saying is we could end this Iran war. All Trump has to do is send the Ayatollah Hassani Chu medallion, and it's all over.
Exactly. That's it.
Yeah.
Here's my question: who sent Trump a Hassani Chu medallion? Because that's probably what happened to him.
Yes.
I think he made one.
It's legitimately cursed, folks, because whether we like to admit it or not, content creation, live streaming, it is an industry. It's a new industry. It's an industry that doesn't have any codified rules. It's only guidelines and terms of service. It's not a rule book. Okay, you go into Hollywood, you read a rule book. You go into Washington, you read a rule book. But this industry doesn't have rules, which means people can fuck each other over with no consequence, and people can fuck each other over with or without consequence. Some creators can do it and get away with it all day long, like Ethan Van Sciver, John Delaroz, Triple P, and Andy Warski. But others can do it and face massive repercussions, like the quartering, like Nick Rekieta, like Ethan Ralph, who got his fucking head punched through in Portugal. So quite frankly, folks, we exist in an industry where building long-term coalitions is impossible. It's impossible to build a coalition out of hungry wolves, because when the meat runs out, they'll start eating each other. Literally, law of nature, rule of the jungle, right? To put it in political terms, there are no permanent friends, only permanent interests. And now we understand why all these creators, all these communities, they ultimately fall apart and tear each other to pieces. In pop culture terms, when the Fandom Menace fell to pieces and everyone tore each other to shreds. Or in the case, years later with the Goonagate situation, when people tore each other to pieces. That is a consequence of bubbles bursting, bubbles as community bubbles bursting, to allow more bubbles and more communities to form. It is a natural process of a growing industry. Why? Because not everyone can fit in a community, especially when most of the members of that community are massive names with a lot of support. So they break off, they form their own bubbles, new generation enters the fray, they get popular, rinse and repeat until we are where we are today. Quite frankly. And the quartering is the latest bubble to burst.
Yeah. And well, here's the thing.
Is he bursted himself. That's the worst thing. And he could have avoided that. That's the worst thing.
Here's the thing. It's not if you get destroyed. It's if you get back up, again. And the question is, will he get back up? Will he pivot? Will he get away from this? Because the way he's going right now, I don't see him working on moving. You have to move forward. You can't just live in this situation. Okay, it happened. Keep moving forward. Keep moving forward.
All of this would have already died out if he just said I didn't do it, or he didn't say anything, and he didn't do anything. If he didn't do anything and he just let people talk about what he publicly said, because he did say it, that's not going away. You can private all your streams, you can delete all your posts. It doesn't matter. It's there. It's out there. The internet has it, and if we know anything about the internet, is that The second that you post something, especially if you're as big as the quartering, someone already copied it, saved it, screenshotted it, and saved it for some later use. That's what happens with each of us. Like, if you can dig tweets from 10 years ago, just out of spite and just to prove your point in an ongoing dispute, that's dedication. And these people are there are a lot of these people out there. So you need to own everything that you say and that you do, and you need to be consistent. If you're consistent in what you're doing, you can weather any storm. And if you even if ultimately your channel gets destroyed, you will have gone down as yourself and someone with integrity. And that's actually something that's going to help him rebuild. But if you weasel if you weasel yourself to try and land on your feet every time, that's just not gonna work. That just doesn't work. There's no situation that you're always right. It's not, and sometimes you need to own that.
Well, I think it's a fact of not just content creation, but a fact of life, that everyone has their time to shine and everyone ultimately fades away. Now, there are rare instances where creators can rise, fall, and then rise again, much like politicians, much like celebrities, much like even nations and empires of old. But they are the exception rather than the rule. In the case for the quartering, he's had a good run, but even before this, he was running an unsustainable model that was stressing him to high hell. You don't hire people to do this. You don't. This is not a business in the conventional sense.
Yes.
It's a lot in and not a lot out for the vast majority of creators.
Or if you do, you need to be an entirely different type of channel. You need to be like a business channel with an actual real life business, and you need to use YouTube to showcase that business, like some channels.
Yeah, or you minimize your costs.
And I just want to mention something. When I said that people will dig up old dirt, this is a meme that just popped up on my feed.
Extra Zero, great guy. Always enjoyed Extra Zero.
And this is from today.
Oh no! Oh no!
He quote tweeted a post from the quartering from September 11, 2018, saying, "My wife's boyfriend made me really understand my place."
That has an underscore. That's not the actual quartering. Look at the name.
Oh shit!
The quartering underscore.
Yeah, that is my mistake.
See, this is why Extra Zero is.
But my point stands. Sorry, my point stands.
No, you're not getting out of this fucking hole you dug yourself in.
Yes, I did myself. Yeah. Wait, I'm gonna own this. I own my mistake. Fuck off.
This is why Extra Zero is a talented creator and a talented editor as well, because he managed to lure it in with a compelling narrative, right? Even if it's not true, because it was such a compelling narrative based on readily available information today, people believe it. Which, folks, truth ultimately in life is not the be-all and end-all. It's belief. If you believe it to be true, that outweighs the truth in that of itself, and the past minute is living proof of that statement, right? It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, because let's face it, the quartering has done rather well for himself, and he shills blood coffee and lets his bull have sexual relations with his woman, which is completely crazy. But he's had his time. Let his bubble burst so that other bubbles can be inflated with new communities, new personalities, and more viewers such as yourselves becoming creators. That is life in a nutshell. Just like the quartering will be in a nutshell when Triple P eats him and Andy Warski turns him into cocaine.
Oh my god!
Yeah, but as you can see, they got me. They got me with it. And I admit it, they got me because same profile picture. I've been known to overlook this, but again,
to be fair,
that doesn't disprove what I said, because this was said in 2018.
Yeah. Well,
And
that
now
is-
we have that information, and he went and dug something from 2018, even if it wasn't from the court. So
I was going to say that it's not the first time Quartering has run afoul of having a feud with someone. If you remember his Ethan Klein feud, I mean, it spanned years, and Klein has said a lot of very personal things about Quartering over the years that I'm sure are going to come back into the zeitgeist. In fact, Klein is probably responsible for that fake Quartering account existing.
by the way,
Yeah.
talking about Ian Klein, this is someone that used to be very positively famous, then very negatively famous, and now, from what I can understand, he's someone in the middle that he's just saying. And there are people who respect him, there are people who are still angry at him, but nothing
Hassan
really
Piker kicked him
serious
through the
happened.
barbershop window, and he had a face turn. That's what happened.
Yeah. So you have those, as Digny said, rise, falls, and maybe come back again. The thing is that Digny said something very good. That this is life, and Quartering, I think he even if even if his bubble bursts, he's still going to have a lot of stuff happening for him. He will do a lot of different things. What I understood that, because I know about the situation about the Quartering, about his financial situation that he was very complaining about for months, and that something was supposed to happen, that he was supposed to go to a financial auditor to have that, but he backed out. And that was one of the other things that sparked this entire situation, that this was supposed to happen, and then he backed out and started acting defensively about it. The thing is that I think what the Quartering should do, if he wants to save any sort of face, is just admit what he has and hasn't done, like come clean, move on, stop talking about it, and maybe buy himself another couple of years on YouTube.
That's a great point. As someone who's personally gone through a controversy, Helzo, as you well know, because you observed it in real time. Even if you want to stop a controversy dead in its tracks by making a statement that takes all the oxygen out of the situation, once it's out there, it has a life of its own that you can't just end unilaterally. It will only end when the people covering it no longer benefit from covering it, because in half a week or a week's time, there's a new topic of the day for everyone to opportunistically dogpile on. And I don't mean that as a negative, folks. I know how content creators operate. We all have to make a name for ourselves somehow, whether it's highlighting problems or finding solutions to problems, or just talking about things we enjoy instead of the things we do not. Hence the saying, it takes all sorts to be a content creator. But it's the Quartering got himself into this mess. The only way he'll get out of this mess is to understand that this topic is going to probably be around for a few days, maybe a week. And the more he keeps adding fuel to that fire, the more likely this is going to escalate.
Exactly.
And get worse.
Exactly.
I think he just needs to let it fizzle out. He
Could've
just needs to let it fizzle out, I think.
Yeah, it could have been over already. It could have been over. Like, you have stuff that are happening. People are starting to talk about it, and it's very, very prominent for a couple of days. And when the receiving or the origin of that doesn't give you any food, any fuel, you run out and you move to other things, because that's what content creators do. They don't stick on one topic if it doesn't evolve. You can't talk about something if it doesn't, if there's no new information.
Well, we can't be we can't be two-dimensional about this, though, because it's not, right. The two-dimensional mindset is it's just your opponents or your critics who are condemning you, and that's what's feeding the fire. No. If it was that simple, then it would be easy to deal with being in the middle of a controversy. Whether it's your own fault or not, in the Quartering's case, it is his own fault. Okay?
Exactly. He's feeding that fire currently.
Yes, the thing we have to understand is, folks, that when you're in the middle of a controversy, those who stand up for you are as dangerous to you as the people who are against you. And I know that sounds crazy from someone who's never experienced being a topic of the day, but as someone who was in the middle of a controversy that threaten not just my own creator journey, but in entire communities. Those people who stood up for me fanned the flames just as bad, if not worse, than the people who condemned me for doing what I did. I won't go into the specifics of it. So much so that I asked that this no longer be talked about and was flatly ignored. Your friends can be just as detrimental to you as your foes in a situation like this, which is why I reinforced the saying, right? It takes all sorts to be a content creator. The quartering, he's dug this hole. Even if he wanted to get out of it, it's not going to work. He has to simply wait, have this fortress mindset, let this topic die away, and let a bigger topic of the day take over the zeitgeist. It's as simple as that.
It will. All it takes, like you said, is a little bit of time. It will. It will. He just needs to chill out. And I know that that's kind of hard for him, but the more he plays victim, and he should know this, he's covered a lot of people on the left, and when they play victim, it doesn't work out well for him. You think Sweet Baby Inc. Would still be in the zeitgeist if they just quietly faded away instead of try to play victim after going after Kabrutus, trying to take his entire Steam library away from him? No, the more you negatively react to this, the more people are going to push back on you and say, oh, hey, maybe you're the bad guy. And I'm not saying he is or not. I'm just saying that's the perception. Also, this is what happened to Donald Trump right here. We have confirmation. It's the medallion. That's why he's like this now. It's so unfortunately I do need to check out Chris Chan's early life now that I think about it. Maybe it is all connected.
I just want to say something is that what's also fanning this situation is that quartering broke one of the sacred unwritten rules of YouTube. You do not go and flag and dogpile and mass report on other YouTubers. That's something reserved to the lefty lunatics that we fight collectively against.
It's an act of
You don't do that as someone who is an advocate of free speech. You don't do that. You can say I'm an advocate for free speech and allegedly, still, let's talk about it allegedly, do stuff that he allegedly did. That's just not, and this is what got a lot of people angry, because you can say a lot of things against someone. You can swear at them, you can joke about them, you can make awful content about them, but you just don't threaten their livelihood like that, and not only to one creator. Well, that's pretty much one of the main things that he is currently being dragged for.
Well, yeah, first of all, it was an act of desperation, because when you're in the middle of a controversial situation of your own making, your heart's pumping and you're panicking, folks, especially in the quarterings situation where he's struggling to turn a profit and he's hiring people to be on his show. Is he fucking mad? Right? That's one element of it. One choice you can make in a situation like that is to do nothing. Doing nothing is an action in that of itself, and he'd probably be in a better position than he is now. Quite frankly, he's a dinosaur. And the asteroid's pretty big, and its name is PPP. Okay, he's one big motherfucker, I'll tell you. Right? And I'll give you a living, breathing example of how this topic can easily move out of the zeitgeist. And that's a moon landing, ladies and gentlemen, because we do like to keep the show at about 2 hours, and we don't want a single topic strangling the airwaves from all the others. So our second topic is about the moon and about a space flight.
And the death of flat earthers in Minecraft. I'm very happy about this, by the way. This topic and this situation, the whole thing that happened, I was excited beyond belief for a lot of reasons. First of all, it's been more than 50 years than the last thing that someone attempted this. Second of all, it's evident that humanity can do these things if you just put, in this case, enough money into this. Because it's all about money. The effort is translated to money. If you want this to happen, you need to put a lot of money into it. But the fact that we can, in fact, in modern time prove that we did go around the moon, and we're next year there's going to be the next proof that we were in the moon, and every flat earther is going to eat their own intestines out because they just don't know what else to do with themselves. It is a pivotal moment where you have two sides. You have one side of humanity killing themselves in Minecraft and bombing and closing trade routes and bombing infrastructure, taking territory, committing heinous crimes beyond belief that are being downsized because it is war or it is a special military operation. And on the other hand, you have 4 humans, I don't know, $100-200 billion operation, and they went to our natural moon and they circled around it. They took pictures, they took videos, and they came back proving that it can be done and setting the path to a lunar colony. So you've heard me talk about Mass Effect. You heard me talk about how every year that passes, it's becoming more and more reality. This is going to be the next step, because after the moon comes Mars. If we don't destroy ourselves in the meantime, which is more and more plausible each day. But if in the event that we continue to live as a species and don't drop the nukes on each other, we are potentially, all of us here, are going to be seeing the opening of a Mars settlement, of a colonization of another planet, potentially, if everything goes well. And
I
that
think
to
you're
me,
giving Grace a bit too much time, considering his circumstances.
I'm
You know, 'cause
just
you'll be dead
hopeful.
in 20
This
years
is my
to
own
the way
look.
you're
Look,
working
let me tell you one
yourself,
thing. This is
okay?
my only piece of hope for humanity left.
I mean, I hate to be
There
the
is
black
no
pill.
other hope for humanity left.
I
in this
hate to be the
world.
black pill, Hellzo, but Israel will say the moon was promised to them 3,000 years ago and claim the whole damn thing, and that no one else is allowed to do anything except them. All right,
That's
and
one
they didn't even go
angle.
up there. They're just gonna tell Trump, well, Donald, you have to hand it to me. It's mine. It was
Where is
promised to us.
Ayatollah Dini when you have him?
I look at it. I look
to
at
say
it
that the
from
moon
a,
is haram.
I look at it from a more practical perspective, ladies and gentlemen. We've had the ability to create a moon base since the 1970s, quite frankly. Okay, we've had the ability to send a man to Mars since the late 80s and early 90s. The only problem is getting him back. Okay, quite frankly, as that is an issue. The reason it's taken so long between the 60s and 70s to what is now the mid 2020s
Yeah.
and probably early 2030s to go back to the moon is 2 factors. One, there's less of a risk now than there was back then, and 2, just like before, another great power wants to do it, so America's
Exactly.
going to do it again.
Exactly.
Okay.
You have the space race.
China could end America's moon mission tomorrow by saying we don't want to explore space. They could just end it.
If they do, it all goes away. It all goes away.
It all goes away, right?
But it's a space race. It's a space race. That's it.
Yeah, it's not high-minded idealism, folks. It's pure, unadulterated opportunism.
When we go to Mars, do we get to meet Quado?
Yes.
What do you think Quado's like in real life?
Yes. Look,
and Digny know that is not the guy that I make fun of on Thursdays. Although the resemblance is very similar.
I think that's a trans person in the beginning of their transition.
That's DEI Modoc, whose machinery is bigger than him. Okay, folks. He looks, quite frankly, how does this guy live? He's a marvel of engineering, or rather, he's a DC of engineering. He doesn't quite work properly, but he's still alive. I
agree with that.
Look, getting there isn't the problem. We've been able to land a man or a woman. Can we land a black man on Mars? We've been able to land people on Mars since the late 80s or early 90s, right? The biggest problem is getting them back. That is the thing. The killer, Quite
That's just the
literally.
thing that the goal is to not get them back.
So
Like,
why don't we send some people who are expendable up there?
That would be my preferred solution. Like, get all the DEI hires, all the flat earthers, all the extremists, and just let them do it like StarCraft. Do it like all the prisoners, all the criminals, just blast
Hey, that's
them
how
away.
Australia got founded, Helzo.
Yes.
Exactly. We're
Yes.
gonna have Marstralia, mate.
Yeah.
And they're gonna have space kangaroos, and they're gonna
Yeah.
have the outback.
Well, the reason Australia has never been attempted again is because it worked. Quite frankly,
Yep. It works actually too well.
the British Empire sent people to die, and most of them did on the journey, not there, on the journey there.
Yep.
But those who survived over decades built civilization, took it from the Aboriginals, and turned, quite frankly, a wilderness into a first world territory.
Yeah,
It's
and,
quite
and,
frankly
and every
incredible.
person there has houses that are bigger than a city.
To be fair,
land.
the English did that again, and we called America.
Yeah.
Okay, so
with
what,
the-
what, 1
Again.
for 1 against?
No. And they did it again with the help of the Dutch, and they created South Africa. Do you see a pattern, ladies and gentlemen?
Oh,
It's just
boy.
the Australians were smarter than the South Africans. The Australians didn't give the land back. It's just, in all seriousness, though, if we want as a species to get off this planet and settle beyond this planet permanently, we're
Oh, boy.
going to have to take risks. And
That's true.
We're too risk averse. We weren't, the Americans, the Western world, were not as risk averse 50,
You
60
know,
years ago. The
I
Soviets
have to
didn't
be-
give a damn.
I have
Go
to be in
ahead.
the minority. We got too many fucking problems here. I don't want us to fuck up space. That poor planet didn't do nothing to nobody. And if we find anybody up there, the Democrats are going to figure out how can we give them welfare so that they can also take money from the taxpayer somehow. Hey, Jace working 3 jobs isn't enough. We need to get 4 jobs so they can pay for the alien welfare. We got to give the aliens some food stamps, y'all. You know, I'm not wrong. They'll do it.
thank-
They'll do it.
Stamps.
Yeah.
The
Thankfully-
optimistic thing to do is to send people on Mars, to send people to live on Mars in the way that Elon Musk wants to do it. First, send the technology, send some robots to build the enclosures and stuff like that, and then send, let's say, 150 to 500 people to start a colony there. Once that happens,
no.
and once you prove that you can be multiplanetary, maybe, although that maybe is very pessimistic, people will start to figure out what's wrong with our planet and start to figuring that out. The best thing, however, to happen to us in terms of fixing our problems and becoming a little bit more unified as a species and not just blast ourselves because I don't know, someone
Here-
decides that their god has a bigger dick. Have aliens. We need aliens. We need an
Here-
alien ship. Come
We do,
shit
the
some
cool
nukes
mech.
on,
Here's the
dead-
problem if Elon sends AI clankers first, is that when we lose contact with the clankers and they build civilization without us, they will come back and they will come back looking something like this. And that is how we get colonized by our alien overlords. So
Exactly.
I welcome rule by Megatron from Transformers. Can't be any worse than the rule we have right now.
No, like Megatron is at least going to be fair in the destruction of everyone.
The problem we have, folks, is that if we do become multiplanetary, instead of one Earth that's fucked up, we will have multiple Earths that are fucked up because the way we live as a species doesn't matter if it's first world, second world, and certainly the third world. We do not live sustainably. We as a race, as a species, we have not lived sustainably for thousands of years. It's only in the past few hundred years that we are in the cusp of sustainable living. And even then, the most sustainable civilizations are up to their eyeballs in debt. And that
You
is
know
the
why
way to
science
go.
fiction has space? You know why in science fiction they're capable of space travel? It's because the biggest piece of fiction in science fiction is an Earth where everything is okay.
Yes, exactly.
Unless you're
Global
Warhammer.
unity.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the thing, though, right? Jace makes a fantastic point. In all of these science fiction stories about humanity going into space, what's the one thing all of those stories have? A united Earth, a unified humanity, a globalist.
Yeah, but depending on the
run-
depending on how they got to the United Earth, like Star Trek First Contact, you didn't have a functioning human government. You had a
Well-
American crackhead building a rocket out of a nuke and launching
was
it
not
just in
right.
time so an alien species would identify the warp signature. That's it. So again, external event happened that showed us that we're just a tiny speck in the universe. But we were exactly
cannot-
after World War III, and we were just flat out.
I mean,
"No,
let's
we
be
don't
honest. You
wanna
honestly
make
think these guys are going to get us to space? I'm just saying.
No.
I'm just saying. These
No.
guys are
No,
just
they
gonna
will.
blow
They
shit
will.
up.
They'll blast us into space.
They'll
It's
send
just
us
not gonna be with a
hell
rocket.
before they- They'll send us to hell before they send us to space.
Or that.
What's the difference between hell and space? Hell is red and space is black. So you tell me which is
Oh,
worse.
I thought you were going to say more lobster.
Yeah, that too. That too.
Well, depending,
I'm just-
depending on
I'm
your
getting to
color
a point-
preferences.
We're getting to a point, folks, where the moon landing again. This time it's on the far side of the moon, dark side of the moon. They're going to mine some water or some minerals, that sort of thing. Quite frankly, from a personal perspective, I've always been of the mindset of, oh, it's great. It'd be great to have a moon base or a moon colony or a Mars base and a Mars colony. I personally believe before we as a species boldly go where no one has gone before, we fix the multitude of problems. First of all, in our part of the world, which is to say our own nations. Then, once we have a solid foundation, if we want to, because it is a choice at the end of the day, we do live in a democratic system, or a republic system from an American standpoint, tempered by occasional general elections. It should be up to the people to decide whether they want to fix the rest of the world. Okay? But if they say yes, then great. If they say no, then no. But quite frankly, how are we supposed to explore the great unknown up there if we can't even get our act together down here? It's the same mindset when it comes to, say, foreign wars. Get your own house in order before you fix someone else's. Fix your own nation.
That was the plan. That was the plan, wasn't it? Like with especially in the US, Jace. Like
Yeah.
that was the plan, and I was again. I want to mention something before I made my other point of what Dean said. I'm someone who actually thought that the second Trump term is going to be amazing because he won against something that I truly thought that was evil, and for a time it was. But again, I don't believe that anymore, especially with what's happening. And I'm one of the people in countries that are indirectly suffering from that, and it's getting worse.
I think the whole
but,
West is suffering from it
Yeah,
at the moment.
I mean, here it's we are kind of preparing for a migrant wave.
Yeah.
And you know that I'm on the outskirts of Europe, and this is first destination one after Turkey. But on what Digny said, sadly, every great advancement in human technology, society, togetherness, whatever you want to fucking call it, is after a great disaster. This is just the fact. Humans are post factum doing advanced species. Only after a plague, a war, a devastating thing would we learn. And that's exactly, I'm going to go back to the Star Trek First Contact situation where humanity was after World War III. There wasn't a functioning government. There wasn't anything that could even resemble something that would turn into the Federation. And one lucky thing happened afterwards, because nobody could tell this drunken Jeff from Cochrane that he couldn't launch a decommissioned nuke into space with him on board. And that's just it. After something like that, you had the incentive to try and do something better. But it always comes after all of that you have accustomed yourself to and you're okay with as the civilization crumbles.
Yeah,
And if our civilization crumbles, that's going to be, if humanity survives, that's going to be our second or third renaissance. Not before that.
That's sort of the problem that we're in, is that, again, our mess has not been cleaned up. We're still in perpetual war. We're still in perpetual strife here in the United States, which America was, I think, in a prime position to maybe reach that outer space goal. We're too busy with the infighting with each other. We've got two political parties that are just completely mentally insane. I voted for Trump. I thought he would at least start, concentrating on America first, because that was his platform. Use that technology, look, we still have subways in the United States that smell like bum piss, all right? And there are still people getting stabbed every day. And what have we done as a society with our technology? Have we made life easier for the middle class? No, but at least now we've made it easier for women to dress up like a clown and show you pictures of their anus. That's about what it's done. This is Digny's new fetish of the year.
Jace, you've shown Helzo my weakness. I want look, I did coin the term, selling America's daughters as whores to pay for America's sons to die on foreign battlefields to benefit people who are not Americans. But damn, if all those OnlyFans whores dressed up in clown makeup, I will bow to Israel. Okay? I will.
Boy.
You found my weakness, Jace, and I curse you forevermore. Okay?
And he also wants you to give him the address of that clown girl.
Yeah,
He's probably already gathered.
it's half humiliation for her and half sexual attraction, but the humiliation fuels the sexual attraction.
Believe me, someone's trying to get her on Old White Road as we speak.
No, we gotta keep her away from Dash and all the others. We gotta.
Dash is gonna bash.
I gotta commission Mustafa to make an Epstein Digny. Can you imagine that?
Oh boy, you gotta have the house behind you, the white and blue house.
Digny's Clown Island.
Digny Epstein.
By the way, a little fun fact for you guys on Epstein's house. Old pictures from 2014 were shared on Facebook, an actual Facebook post from 2014, and it was a black welder company, the Samsung Welding Company, which welded the gold dome on top of Epstein's creepy house. The fact that Samsung Welding, by the way, given the whole Samsung option thing, is pretty bad. Okay. But yeah, I bet that black guy didn't expect that post to age as poorly as it did.
There's a big problem, folks. From my perspective, let's say, hypothetically, we build a moon base, a Mars base, which becomes a colony, and we have cities on the moon, cities on Mars. Say, let's take it wild and say we terraform Mars and make it a second Earth. Okay, we go all out. Wants to stop those places just becoming just like Earth, right? Jace, he gets into his space car, his 2097 Ford Space Ranger, because Ford are going to make like commercial space cars. Right?
Oh boy!
You fly you live on Earth,
and
Jace,
for that all-terrain,
right? You live on the Earth, Jace, because it's cheaper. That's where all the poor people live. You take your space car, which is a rocket, and you fly to the moon to go to your first job, which is
I am poor.
You're a lunar technician, and you always complain to your coworkers, the price of rocket fuel is too high. It costs so much for me to get here to work on the moon. I can't even take my wife and my kids on holiday to Mars with all these prices. Why is Mars Iran at war with Mars Israel? Right? Because you bet your ass there's oil on fucking Mars, okay, folks?
Oh boy!
And Mars and the moon, they'll probably call it Luna by that point, after the lunar colony. And they're just like Earth. And then people who want to make a lot of money, they go to the asteroid belt to mine the materials there for a big paycheck, in the same way that you have Aussie gold hunters or those people in America that go deep sea diving to mine precious metals in the ocean floor, right? The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Which is why, if we are ever to go into space, we need a tangible reason, a tangible goal.
Yeah, money.
Every sci-fi
Baseball.
was either humanity deciding to colonize everything, or accepting some like galactic rule from alien species, or as in StarCraft, just sending their prisoners on a space Australian voyage. That's pretty much it. You don't have anything that doesn't have a goal. You won't go. You won't spend $200 billion just to go and see the pretty stars.
Well, that's the thing. When it comes to space, it's never made economic blooper. It's never made economic sense to go to space, right? The only reason we have like rockets, spaceships, if you want to call it that, capable of going into space, going to the moon, that sort of thing, is because they're based on weapon systems that were pioneered towards the end of the Second World War and into the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. Nuclear warfare technology hasn't fundamentally changed in 50 years. That's why it's still remarkably analog, and the core systems, those systems which peaked in the 70s, are still used to this day. The Artemis rocket that was used is only just bigger in size and scope than the old Saturn V. The main difference between the two over 50 years is quality of life improvements and safety upgrades. And I think some fuel efficiency upgrades as well. That's it. Because the only way we are going to go back into space in this day and age is if we get rid of all of the risk involved in it. Because all it takes is one disaster like Challenger, and it sets us back decades in the West. The East don't give a shit. The Soviets literally burned a dog to death to test their re-entry vehicle. And through the damage, took notes and telemetry on how much heat shielding was required. When cosmonauts return from Earth, a few years or a few decades later, they die of radiation poisoning because the Soviets didn't give a damn about radiation protection. The Chinese will probably be the same because they have a similar mindset. You're disposable, you're a cog in the fucking machine, get it done, we'll honor you, and then you fucking die. They're more likely to conquer space than we are because they don't give a damn about risk and making mistakes.
Anyone remember the Fallout New Vegas quest where you send ghouls into space?
Oh, damn.
And you had the option to blow up their spacecraft or
look, again, at least the Artemis managed to revive the Kerbal Space Program game, and allegedly it was also very live in North Korea. Someone was playing that game.
I tried playing that game. I just couldn't get my head around it, making things and stuff. But quite frankly, folks, I hope we do land on the moon. But I'd prefer if we didn't, because the only people who have walked on the moon are straight white men. No women. No woman has walked on the moon. No black man has never walked on the moon. How about this, folks? I have a dream that one day only straight white men will be able to go into space.
You're gonna leave the whole planet to the Twinkies?
No, we're gonna go to space with our clown sluts. Okay, folks.
Oh boy.
Quite frankly, we're gonna leave the world behind for Ugandans and Turks to make demands of one another. That's what we can.
Leave the earth to the cockroaches.
Hey, Turkey had a civilized society for 500 years. You should know you're occupied by them. But on that note,
they had a very, very civilized society.
So, yeah.
Let's move on to our Uganda topic, folks.
Oh boy,
okay?
is this the Ugandan apes?
Yes.
Oh boy.
No, it's not.
You don't know the way. Do you know the way? You have to have a good life to know the way.
A Ugandan general made a very crazy series of demands to the Turks in regards of, oh, give me this and a woman, give me money and a woman for something. I don't really know the details about this topic.
When I read this,
Mhm.
I thought it was a joke. I really thought that was a joke. Apparently, it's not. It's an actual article.
Holy
So-
shit! I thought we were talking about the ape civil war. You know, there's like an ape civil war in Uganda right now. Like 2 species of apes, literal apes, like going at it. Animals.
Yeah, the Atrayans and
Yeah.
the Cadans.
Oh boy. Yeah. Give 1 billion most beautiful
Actually-
woman in Turkey as wife.
Yes, that is because he has also threatened to cut diplomatic ties with Turkey and close its
Oh.
embassy in Kampala within 30 days if his demands are not met. Imagine, like I would understand. I would understand this. Like, let's say if they're keeping something, they're guarding something, they're upholding some threat that is being negotiated with Turkey. But this,
Oh man.
I don't believe this. I didn't. I thought this was something like very
We
late
should-
April 1st joke.
We should troll him and send him one of the Old White Road members.
So if I give him Damien, he'll die of AIDS.
We should send him Dylan. We should send him Dylan Mulvaney. I think
Oh
he's
my
gonna
God.
like that.
Well, the problem is
So-
Uganda, it's an automatic death penalty for being a homosexual. Okay.
Can we send
that.
Hassan Piker?
Wait, Diggy, come on. Dylan Mulvaney's a woman, don't you know?
Bad
Yeah,
Bunny in a
and I'm
dress.
made of cheese.
The thing is that Uganda's chief of defense forces, Muhoozi Kainerugaba,
Gesundheit.
thank you, who's also the son of President Yoweri Museveni. Okay, I'm
My
having COVID.
furniture is floating.
Yes, exactly. Has demanded $1 billion from Turkey and the most beautiful woman in the country as his wife. No, I'm not joking. Kainerugaba claimed that Uganda's contribution to regional security efforts had gone unrecognized
Oh
and that
boy.
financial compensation was due.
Then call JG Wentworth, bruh.
Financial compensation, so a woman is a unit of measure.
Oh boy.
He has also threatened to cut diplomatic ties with Turkey and close its embassy in Kampala within 30 days if his demands are not met. He also made a separate controversial remark asking Turkey to hand over the most beautiful woman in the country, saying he would marry her. In a series of posts on X, Kainerugaba accused Turkey of benefiting from business and infrastructure projects in Somalia, including ports and airports in the capital, Mogadishu. Okay, so let's talk about that. Anyone? I'm speechless on that because
first of all, Uganda's lucky to be too far away from Turkey because this is the sort of stuff Turkey would invade you over. Okay? Quite frankly, this is insane. We don't need these people in space. We were talking about space in our previous topic, rather.
Mhm.
Quite frankly, at this point, most of the planet should not be heading up to where no one has gone before with crazy stuff like this going on, right? Go
Yes.
back to your mud hut,
Mhm.
unpronounceable name.
That's exactly what I was telling about the two sides of humanity. We have one side, on one hand, we are blasting people into space. They're going around the moon. They're returning. They're carrying information and possible advancements to humanity. And on the other hand, we have people who are demanding the most beautiful woman in the country as payment for something in what is supposed to be a modern society world.
This guy's name sounds like he's the main character in Zao Tales of Kenzera Part 2. All right.
Oh, dear. You know, guys, it's almost a black and white issue, isn't it? Oh,
well, it's a black and brown, but yeah.
No, it's a black and white issue based on your prior comparison. You have, on one hand, humanity going to the stars and going where no one has gone before, and on another, you have a group of people arguing over money and women. It is literally a black and white issue.
There's another quartering joke somewhere in here, but I'm not going to make it.
Yes.
It's a coffee
her
joke.
name is Melanie Mack.
Oh,
oh boy.
Right.
But
That's
it's
not
like-
happening. It's not happening. Do not buy my blood-soaked coffee, right? Do not support my co-host who married a cosplayer to hide the fact she's a lesbian, right? Do not support my second in command who is so desperate for money that I hired her. And I'm definitely not having a relationship with her on the side. Now buy my coffee and buy my book.
Buy my book.
Buy my coffee. Buy my book. Bloody
Exactly.
Ugandans.
This is the same. And I wanted to actually focus in my life, not here. I wanted in my life to focus on the good things that humanity is trying to achieve. It's there's so few of them. Like every day I open the news because I'm crazy like that. I want to be informed if nukes started falling on my head, and I just want to be prepared. And I don't read anything up until the 6th or 7th article that even kind of resembles something of a decent deed or some positive news. There's always fighting, wars, bombings, killings, someone stole something. Some motherfucker today on our highway decided with his lorry truck to just go into one of the tunnels, twist the truck into blocking the entire road and doing it on purpose just because he would create a traffic jam more than 10 miles long, just because he knew that people would be coming back from the holidays and he wanted to fuck with them. That was his only intention. That was his only reason. Police had to get involved, and for several hours there were people that just couldn't move anywhere on the highway as they were returning home from the holidays. This was his only reason. And this guy has the same rights as someone like me, like you. And these people are breathing the same air. And these people are on the exact same societal stature as us. Fuck them.
I wonder what color they are.
No, he was white. He's just an idiot.
oh boy.
He's a gypsy. He's one of them. But no, Helso, you should
Gypsies
understand.
driving trucks? No.
Right.
They
Helso,
only
you
ride
should
horses.
understand- You should understand lost causes. Your country was on the wrong side of both world wars.
Yep. Oh, but
And in
we.
fact-
Oh yeah, and on top of that, we did help a certain group of prosecuted people in World War II escape.
Oh boy. Hey, Helzo, this is in relation to the last topic, but it's so good we have to talk about it. They're already whataboutisming space, like a certain, collective group of people. Let's stop going into space. There's nothing to see and no one to talk to. I have nothing against astronauts or scientific innovation, but what's the point of Artemis 2?
To escape from you, judging by your picture.
Exactly.
You look. This woman, I think, looks like the blandest breakfast you can ever have. This is like an English breakfast during a hunger strike that has lasted for 5 years.
We need to call the cops because someone's missing their shower curtain and she's wearing it as a fucking dress.
I'm sorry, guys, but this is what the hijab and burqa was made for.
Yes, exactly. I would support her wearing that.
Right.
Oh,
You people call Islam a savage religion. Well, Islam would have protected you from seeing this bitch. Okay.
Look, Zoe Williams. If you have some problem with the way the world is going, I suggest that you do your best Robin Williams impersonation. Take that for whatever you want to take that for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Be the genie and go back in your lamp. But quite frankly, folks,
Mhm.
if we are to go and do things that have never been done before, you're going to
Mhm.
have to risk your life to make the world and to make humanity better,
Mhm.
quite
Mhm.
frankly. Whether it's in terms of going to space, whether it's in terms of colonizing, the moon, Mars, or colonizing Africa and the Middle East, it's the same thing. You're
To
risking your life.
go into space, you risk your life. To go into South Africa and Uganda and all these places, you risk your wife. To be a content creator and get drunk, you also risk your wife.
By the way,
A lot of things you've learned today.
Talking about this blank stared potential woman, I found something interesting. Like she apparently is making news regularly.
Wow.
So Zoe Williams says it's difficult to not R-word children when you're surrounded by protesters.
What the hell is even that? No.
And this is the whole screenshot. Far right anger over asylum hotels is destroying the very idea of refugee, and that's probably the goal. And the highlighted thing is
refuge.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. The hotel has been at the center of controversy since an asylum seeker was accused of sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl, and concerns were raised about potential future threats. But the concerns can be self-fulfilling. If your accommodation is regularly surrounded by a small hostile mob that sometimes wants to set fire to it, it's probably quite difficult to start into a normal, law-abiding life, or even know what the law-abiding life looks like. In this country you escaped to, having heard it was civilized. How civilized was for you to R-word for this asylum seeker, for R-word a 14? Was that civilized?
No, the British argument is, Helzo, bringing this up is the problem, not the fact that it happened. It's a circular, it's a circular argument in which no matter what side you take, you're going to be wrong, and that's why the existing system in the UK.
I would rather take the side.
The
I would take the side that prevents animals like this one, the person in this article, from R-wording a 14-year-old girl. I would take that side. I might be wrong about it, but if it will keep girls and boys and women and everyone from being assaulted like that, then I'm right for myself.
And I was going to say, one of the things about this that's so alarming is this person in the same breath will tell you that we have a misogyny problem from white males in the UK listening to the manosphere. So on one side, if you're really deep brown and you're Muslim, you can do whatever you want to whoever you want. If you are white, you can't even look in the direction of a woman without there being a problem. And that's sort of this, chocolate. Yeah, it's this weird double standard, and it's horrible. And it's people like Zoe. Look, Zoe, I assure you, no white British man who is straight is looking at you. Maybe a couple of the gay ones think that you might be a brave, proud trans woman, but nobody straight's looking at you.
Let's make it clear, folks. If you want to see how the British mainstream media operate, check out Tucker Carlson's Good Talk with Victoria Derbyshire, and you will be enlightened on how the British establishment think. The same British establishment that will kill a person's career for saying Zionist on camera.
Well, it's funny that you sort of mention killing someone's career because, speaking of killing Muslim careers, I don't know if you guys heard about this story that sort of has to do very similarly when we're talking about the Muslim situation. Huh?
Save Mustafa. We cannot end his career.
Sabrina Carpenter is being criticized after mocking a fan who performed a zagruta, a mouth sound used to symbolize joy in Arab and African cultures during a show at Coachella. The fan explained it was something from her culture, but even so, she was called weird by the artist, which then Carpenter had to double down and say that I'm not racist, because basically the person was yodeling during the performance. It was disrupted the performance. Carpenter called it out. And now Carpenter is getting destroyed by a bunch of people who think Sabrina Carpenter is racist. And by the way, Carpenter has already apologized and nobody cares. They're still just destroying her, which means when you live by this woke virtue signaling pandering bullshit, you also die by this woke virtue signaling pandering bullshit. You are never pure enough for these people. And this is somebody who's been a great ally to the entire leftist dogma the entire time she's been famous. And they are destroying her in real time. And you love to see it.
It's great
God
because
damn it.
you can't be racist to a religious group.
Well,
Unless
you know
you're
what's
Jewish, of course.
well, you know what's beautiful is that when her career fails and she wears and she has to put on clown makeup on OnlyFans,
Yep.
Digny will bring her to bring her home to meet Father and the Radiator.
We will take care of her.
Yep.
I will take care of you.
And then we'll check her pants and be like, oh dear, we'll just have to cut that off.
And
now
she'll
it's okay.
float. They'll all
Oh, boy.
float.
Right?
The
Right?
thing
If
is
you-
that
if
we
you-
go for
if
it.
you've got a problem with someone who's trans, just cut their cock and balls off and then it's okay.
Well, yeah, that's gonna be a hate crime against women for hitting them in the testicles.
No, it's not a hate crime to turn a woman back into a woman. It's
Yeah, you're
it's
just finishing.
empowering.
You're just finishing the job.
Yeah.
The thing with what Jez just showed is we have. This is one of the things that irks me every single fucking. It irks me at my job because they have, of course, adopted that "don't be offensive" culture to the absolute brink. They're trying to make everyone afraid to say absolutely anything out of the fear of someone who is incapable of processing their own emotions like an adult being offended and having a fit. And because they know that God damn it. Oh my god. Oh yeah.
That's an improvement. I'm gonna go
She's
with
gonna-
Digny. That's an improvement.
She's
It
gonna
is.
float.
We need, honestly, folks, because it would send a message. If every OnlyFans creator was wearing clown makeup, they would be simultaneously more attractive and more self-aware about what they are and what they represent. Okay? Because it's part humiliation, part sex fetish. Exactly. Exactly. I want this to become a thing. We need, if you're going to be a whore, you might as well be a clown whore. Okay? I want Damien to dress up as a clown whore. I want Dash to dress up as a clown whore. I want Toasty to dress up as a clown whore. Right? All
John's
of you do
wife.
it.
John's
some-
wife.
John's wife, I definitely like to see her. And
I think
in a-
that you have grown up with certain scenes with Harley Quinn from the animated TV series, right?
no.
See,
No,
look. If we bring John's wife into it, we can have like a reverse quartering situation that Digny can balance the scales.
And then my
Jace,
first question,
Jace, do you
I'm
have
like,
clown makeup? I think Digny wants your,
Oh, no.
your mother
Oh,
to
what?
put on
no,
some.
no. My first
Oh.
question to Alki John's wife is, why did you circumcise your child?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Because
Because
I saw
basic
an
hygiene stuff.
I saw an ex-user condemn Christians for getting circumcised, and everyone rightly condemning that poster, because most people who get circumcised are Jews and they're not Christians. Okay, folks. So that's a fun fact for you all to enjoy. But if things are gonna get crazy, then let them get crazy. What is more humiliating than being a clown slut? I think we should make this mandatory. Cloney fans, right?
A
Clown
Oh,
mugbanger.
no.
Also, a mugbanger.
right? If you want to be a digital prostitute, at least have the decency to dress up as a clown, because that's what you are, a
Oh
fucking
boy.
clown. And we do like to keep the show at around 2 hours. We can save these other topics for another time because they're not going anywhere. And I want to make this perfectly clear. If you want to be a hoe, be a clown hoe. Okay? Okay? And I've seen a few
Be a
on it.
clown hole
Some of
that
them
takes it into her clown hole.
Oh
yes,
boy.
all of them. All of them. Not at once, because that's just greedy, but
That's just Bonnie
one
Blue.
at a time, right? Because if you want to sell yourself for sex, at least have the decency to dress up as the clown you are. Quite frankly.
If that gets adopted, I would really need to go and visit Amsterdam. It's gonna be a clown fest over there.
Oh boy.
And you know why I want this to be a thing? Because I don't want Atreus to touch any pussy again. Because he hates clowns. He hates clowns. So if
Look.
all the women, so if clown whores become a thing, Atreus will become an incel overnight. And that
By the way,
it's
that
a-
might backfire because hate banging is a thing.
well, the problem with Atreus is he is legitimately scared of clowns. In fact, most black men are afraid of clowns. So I can't wait for the headline to say racist encourages whores to become clowns to scare black people. I can't wait for that headline.
Your psychologists would always say fuck or face your fears, or face fuck your fears.
Ooh. This is one for
Indeed.
later in the week, guys, and then we're coming to a close. But Xbox Game Pass has become too expensive, says Microsoft's new gaming chief in leaked memo. You know
Well,
the
they're
thing we
gonna
talked
have
about
to-
months ago, and we warned them about that they didn't want to listen to us. Well,
Netflix
I've been telling
subscription
them.
up, YouTube family subscription up, everything is up.
You
Go
can-
fuck yourself.
You can bring it up if you want to, Jace, but I've been saying this to Microsoft for months. Lower your damn prices. The moment Nintendo raised their prices, Microsoft had the opportunity to lower their prices. Lower your prices, and you will become competitive as the low-cost gaming hub, quite
Yeah.
frankly. And here it is, folks. And is it this Indian lady who's saying this?
yes. Have we ever seen her and JD Vance's wife in the same place? Or are they?
No.
I mean, I'm convinced they're the same freaking person at this point, but whatever.
I mean, they might as well
Oh.
put her in some clown makeup, and she might be doable. But
Yeah.
in all seriousness, she does make a good point. It's too
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
Lower the cost.
Microsoft
can
needs a
make
better
it.
value equation. There it is.
And it's
I
not
wonder
just with
which
the
one of
Game
these
Pass.
services is going to blame the oil prices for their rising services.
Probably Nintendo.
hard-
Yeah.
It's hard to do that though when
Mhm.
Game Pass as a model is mostly a software thing, right? I know they have
Exactly.
their servers and the cloud, but those are existing
Mhm.
systems. I want to make it pretty clear to Xbox and to Microsoft. The one key advantage that you can have, which will buy you a lot of time, is being the cost-effective console maker in every aspect, whether it's games, consoles, controllers, peripheries, the lot.
You know what I find interesting about this as we go to this part here is Sharma referencing the online chatter, and she's aware of the pricing. She's getting ready to address it in the coming weeks. This will make her, who was previously basically shat on for the AI bullshit and whatnot, look like a hero. But the irony is what'll happen is she'll probably get Game Pass down to where it used to be, but plus $5. So it'll be the original price plus $5. Microsoft still profits, and they will cheer her when in actuality the price still was up $5 over what it initially was.
If you remember, just that's what I explained. Is how, let's say, heating gas prices here in Bulgaria go. They up them during the summer months. Like this month is going to be 20%. This month is going to be around 50% and 10%, and then it accumulates, let's say, 100% more than what you paid last year. And then when the winter comes, they say, okay, we're going to lower actually the prices 15%. so you should be happy.
Yeah,
Same thing
exactly.
here. Same
And that's
thing
what's
here.
going to happen. And that's what's going to happen. And that's part of their strategy to, I guess, to survive in a basic climate where Sony is raising prices across the board. We've talked about it in the past, Sony doing the dynamic pricing bullshit, which is not going to sit well with people. They're still doing it. There's still reports of dynamic pricing in certain markets. Nintendo is raising their prices. But I've always said this, is that there is one way to make sure that your prices do not go up. There's always a way, and that way is simply to embrace the fact that there are free alternatives. I know a lot of people get uncomfortable, but I always say this. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum, a pirate's life for me. That's how you get it done. That's how you get it done. There you go. Yeah.
There's folks. Also, you have backlogs.
Yeah.
You have places like GOG,
Mhm.
and you have indie developers. Most of them, and you get a better quality of gaming from them.
Exactly. You don't have to give these people your money, guys. Besides, they take enough of your money anyway through taxing you. So,
Exactly.
yeah. There you go. And
I don't know.
Certainty Daily
Has
just
anyone-
said
do you know?
the clown faces are whiter than whites. That's why Digny wants them. And he's made that point before.
Yes, whiter than the whitest white times infinity. Hello.
Yeah, he's happy. He's happy.
Yes.
Now he's licking his. Now he's
Well,
licking.
he
himself.
hasn't been shocked. That's why he's happy.
Yeah.
Look, a person. Oh, look.
Oh no.
Hello.
Oh no! Jesus Christ, Mom! What?
Where's
I'm on the camera. You don't have to hand me my mail.
It's time stamp
Get
time.
the clown face on. Get the clown makeup. Get the clown makeup. Make her into Harley from Batman Beyond.
1 hour.
I don't know what the hell she
56
said.
Minutes. Dead is like, hey, Jason, amigo. Who's this? Who's this loco Furious Dano?
Oh my God! Can we send her into space? She's already
my
there
God.
mentally, just not physically.
I don't know whether it's a camera angle, but for a 70-year-old, she looks quite big.
No, she's only 5'2".
Oh, okay. Oh, she's so she's Kata-sized.
Yes. Well, she might be 4'11" now. She's shrunk because she's old now. So she's much shorter than you would assume.
Oh, welcome to Only
amazed.
Grandmas.
I am amazed that she can still climb the stairs. Quite frankly. Right. But we got the timestamp, folks. 1 hour 56 minutes. Right. My favorite was the one when she came in on Dash Attack's show and Dash just froze.
She came in on Dash Attack.
Froze.
Nice.
Right.
Oh,
I was just laughing, but I watched the replay and people didn't hear my laughing because there are certain pitches on this microphone because I had to change my audio systems. So I stopped cutting. So I stopped, constantly cutting in and out. So when I laugh my head off, people can't hear it because it's too bombastic or maybe too high pitched. But it was so hilarious, and Dash just froze, didn't he, Jace? He's just like he
yes.
froze.
He didn't know what to do.
Everyone was confused, and Jace was like, what are you giving me this for? An internet bill? Oh, you want the Wi-Fi password? Don't you know the Wi-Fi password? I know you
Sure.
lost your reading glasses. You also lost one of your titties, too. Okay?
Jeez. Yeah,
Good
basically.
God. It's crazy.
Welcome to
Basically.
Only Grandmas, everyone. Where we peep out people on the panel's mothers.
That is why, folks, here's a rule for you guys. If you're setting up a room for your content creation room, always have your seat where you sit down and you can see the door. Because when the
Yeah.
door opens or when the person's coming, you can quickly mute, you can quickly, hide your camera and shout at the old
And
fucker.
pull up your pants.
That too.
Jesus.
If it's a little guy coming in being like, Daddy, I found something, you can give him a slap and no one will notice. It's like it's so good, folks. It's so good. Just like this show has been good. thank you all very much for watching. It's now time
Our
for
last
our
episode.
future plans. Nah, we'll be all right.
I'm like the reverse Sunichi. If I don't say that, I think the curse is going to get me.
Oh
I
boy.
can't wait. I can't wait for Discuss Things Only Clowns. Can't wait for that.
Oh boy.
Can't wait for that. But
Oh,
Jace,
boy.
what are your future plans?
Well, my girlfriend's coming over a little later today, so I won't be streaming today. I'll be hanging out tomorrow while yourself and John are on Happy Hour, the most ironic show on the network. And then after that, I'll be joining Fuse Aegis and others on the Gaming Rant over on Rumble. I don't know what game I'll be playing while doing that. It's a simulcast type of thing. You know, a couple of us are live at the same time and just gaming and doing stuff, probably playing a few more RPGs, Suikoden 4, Turtle WoW while it's still alive, if possible, Final Fantasy 11, and other such games. So I'll be doing that. Also, yesterday did the premium stream that we're required to do on Rumble. Played a little Octopath Traveler 0 with a new mod that sort of restores a lot of mobile content, but also just dipped my feet for about 5-10 minutes into Stellar Blade. I may do that again. Who knows? But yeah, not while the girlfriend's here. That will get you a second circumcision. But yeah, so I'll be streaming throughout the week as always. Be sure to check out Kansas Podcast tomorrow night. All things start at 5 p.m. Eastern with Happy Hour, and continually get crazier from there. And be sure to check that out. And that's pretty much all I've got going.
Nice. What about you, Digny?
Oh, you know me, guys. More videos, more shows, more videos from said shows. I will be doing a Wednesday show today, so expect a big size panel because we do a 3-hour show on Wednesdays because I really want to turn it into less of a show and more of an experience. So people coming, people going, that sort of thing. That's going to mean bigger panels. That's going to mean more people. And that's going to be more people coming and going because that's the way it works. Starts off at 8 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. Eastern, and it's a 3-hour show. So if you can't pop in for the first hour, you can pop in at 9 p.m. or if you can only make an hour, pop in at 10 p.m. That's the idea of a dynamic panel of people coming and going. Today's show has been great. Hopefully, Roger has eaten that cake by now. Hopefully, Galaxy Red gets his systems back together, and fingers crossed the network.
That'll be a network show. You'll give Galaxy Red system crash, and it'll be appropriate.
Yeah. And the show we will not have even a pilot episode because the system will crash.
Yeah, because it won't work properly. Yeah, it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. But there are a lot of things going on. We are planning for every possibility, every contingency, everything short of full-on nuclear war we are prepared for.
I'm prepared for that. I have a bunker.
Yeah, well, you'll be eaten alive by other Bulgarians with their poison-tipped umbrellas.
Oh boy.
Exactly. Or drunken neighbors that test my door for zombie proofing.
Don't call Turkish people that. What are your future plans?
Well, my future plans are to survive another week at my job, getting to a little bit more of my initial game development, waiting. What is it now? It's 2 days from now because it's after midnight here for Mouse PI to come out, and I'm going to be streaming it day one because that's a game that I absolutely adore, seeing every trailer, every gameplay snippet. I love old style hand drawn, especially Disney style. I love that, and I want to play it the heck out of it. Other than that, videos, more streaming, and trying to keep the channel going while I focus on everything else. We'll see how it goes.
I have one more
This
thing
show
to bring
is
up
going to go.
before we end today's show. Tomorrow, which is to say, Tuesday, tomorrow, my channel warning on YouTube will be gone, so I'll be able to make videos consistently on YouTube again. I've got over 40 prepared.
Not the way you're dressed right now, Digny. He's gonna get you. He's gonna get you.
the quartering topic will be made as a video in a few days. It'll be released on Rumble by the end of the week. It'll be released on YouTube probably by the end of the month, because I've got 40 plus videos waiting to be released on YouTube. 3 a day, 14 days. That's 2 weeks. That's 42 videos. And that's not including the videos from Triton's show and this show today. So there's a lot happening. Hopefully I can get to 500 subs and 3,000 watch hours by September. We can get monetized and no more laughing at old Jews.
Oh well, hopefully that happens sooner rather than later.
Did you come?
Oh no! Oh no! But thank you, everyone. Hopefully everything like that happens.
Krishna,
We have an imposter. Is the schizo brain acting again? Where is the Israel Prime Minister?
Juju come.
This is it. This is what's happening, guys. We have a multi-face personality here, a duplicitous being.
Where's your wife? I want her Juju come.
Oh boy.
Jace,
Thank you for watching,
whatever you do
guys.
with your girlfriend, don't clown around because he's gonna sense it.
Oh,
Wake up and have her Juju come.
oh boy. Oh boy.
Thank you all very much for watching, folks. If you haven't already, like the stream, share the stream. We welcome everyone's support, and I am definitely doing that on tomorrow's show with Alki John. Bye for now, guys.
Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for being with us. See you. Cheers and stay fresh. Smile and wave, boys.
Bye for now.